Good morning, guys. Can you hear me? Let's get started in a couple of minutes.
Hey guys, I'm Tom the Tech Chap, and this is the new
Okay, let's get started. We have about a break-even open today. So far, we had a 2-day bounce, and hopefully this bounce continues. I am short this Twix since yesterday, and if we get if we bounce a little bit more, this thing will be sub 80 in no time. DXCM is still holding up really well. OMI is a coronavirus play I bought yesterday, just starting to come out of a base. I think they also do some kind of protective masks, like APT and Lake. But this is probably not gonna go. They have earnings tomorrow. We'll see how it closes. If it closes weak, I'm not gonna hold it. Zoom is this is just holding up really well. Tesla, no, I only thing regret about this one is that I held 1,000 shares. I never covered it. I'm still short 1,000 shares from this 800, 850 area, and maybe even 900 area. I don't know what my average is on that one. So I gave back all 200k on that trade, unfortunately. But the good news is I think it's gonna mean revert lower. it's gapping up decently in pre-market. It's up 3 days in a row. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing goes red today. And I'm positioning myself for it. I shorted a little bit pre-market. I added another 1,000 shares, and I'm willing to short more. Opening range lows, lower highs, range break to the downside. You know, the usual stuff. So we'll see. Pre-market highs is going to be my my stop though for all of my shares. TQ, oh well, yeah, TQQ is holding up. I'm still keeping this low as my stop. I sold 500 small shares yesterday. I still have 6,500 shares. Unfortunately, I got shaken out late day on Friday on a bunch of shares, but that's okay. And Codex, this one was annoying. I thought it was gonna go sub 12 yesterday, but it didn't. Instead, it went to 18. And obviously, I was up like 200k on it, and then it turned into like a $40,000 trade. So that sucks. And I thought it was gonna be like a $400,000 trade, but yeah, I gave back 150k. Now it looks like it's gapping down a little bit, or actually quite a bit, to like $2, $2.50. Then I have some things on long watch. I'm not gonna buy them. I not today. I think the market still needs a few days to prove. APT may be a bounce watch. Not right now, but if it goes lower, ideally it goes to like 11s or 10s or something, and AHPI also if it goes lower. Which one is Codex downgraded? Codex looks very similar to Space before it broke down. You know, it chopped around in a range, and then it broke down. I think you know, Codex could do the same, or it may not. You know, it may just fade from here now, but it could very easily bounce back to 16, 17, obviously, and that's what stops are for. All right, let's see what we have here. Twix looks like it's fading. Twix I'm willing to add a little bit more if I see a good setup. Yeah, Tesla and Codex, I'm gonna watch those out of the gate. Twix I'm probably not gonna trade out of the gate. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Nvidia, interesting for what? All right, let's see what we have here. I'll move up. Yeah, sure. Nvidia is holding up really well. One of the strongest stocks in the market. Absolutely. Tesla is having a big candle out of the gate. I added some Tesla opening range lows. I'm anticipating it, obviously. I'm anticipating the opening range lows here. And Codex has SSR on, and you know it's so hard to add into weakness. Trying to short some here, but it's just so hard. I only got filled like a third of my shares into weakness. I hate SSR. I really hate it. APT looks like it's bouncing already. I really wanted it to go lower. Codex is right at this rising yellow line, this rising exponential moving average on the 60-minute chart. It needs to break the lows of the day for me to add. Yeah, it's bouncing off this line here. Tesla is fading nicely though. So I'm short 3,000 shares Tesla overall. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla goes red today. I would not be surprised at all. Okay, Codex looks like it's held this this support area, and I just got stopped out half of my ads, or I got stopped out of the ads I did after the open. I still have the pre-market short. Yeah, we'll see here. Just so hard to trade with SSR. AHPI down another 27% today. Can you believe? And this thing has room to like 850 today. That's the crazy part. Like I always underestimate these things, both on the up and the downside. Wait, I have to let my cat in. All right, let's see here. INO, no, I'm not watching it. I know it's up. I just don't care about it. SDNE had earnings. Twix needs to break this 96.70, 96.60 area. Holy shit, Tesla. Oh man, I wish I'd shorted more. Oh man. mRNA, yeah, I saw it gap down. I don't know how big of an edge there is here right now, but maybe later in the day if it breaks this, lows of the day. I don't know. Codex looks like it wants to go higher for now. Yeah, so far it's just acting like a space was, tried to break down, found support and bounced higher. And it was several days of that kind of action before it finally cracked. I don't know why Codex is so much stronger than the others, like AHPI and APT and Lake and all of these names, VIR, they all faded, but Codex is still holding up. I don't know why. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of gaps and fades today. Gap and fades, a lot of them. This is why I was so afraid of, getting long in individual stocks. Like I have long exposure with TQQ and short Twix, but I don't really have any new long positions that are individual names. I think we need to see more sideways and maybe retest of the Friday lows. Need more bases pretty much in the individual names. So right now I think we're very vulnerable to pullback. APT, yeah, it bounced, it put in a higher low compared to yesterday of this rising exponential 65 line on the hourly chart. Yep, and it's bouncing now. Wow, opening range highs would have been nice. Yeah, I missed it. Look, APT came down like 70% from Friday highs. Yeah, 69%. This thing could easily bounce back to like 18, 19 something. But yeah, unfortunately I missed it. Instead I focused on Tesla and Codex shorts. That's okay. Can't catch everything. That's the thing, you can't trade everything. 793. If Tesla goes back to VWAP, bounces back to VWAP and fails, I may add more to it. I may add more. We will see. Yeah, VXX, it's the same thing as Twix. Same thing as Twix, just not as volatile. I prefer trade Twix because you don't have to use as much buying power to get the same bang for the buck. Let's see if HPI can bounce. HPI can very easily bounce back to 18, 19. It could be up 50% today. But I'm not gonna chase these. Especially not HPI. This thing is totally dead volume-wise. Volume has totally dried up. This GMPX is flagging nicely. And NIO is still holding this big flag pattern. It's been in for the past 2.5 months or so. LK is in a 3-month flag. Looks really good. Etsy looks good. Work looks good. DDOG looks good. There are individual names that are setting up nicely, but I think we need more time. I would love to see the market pull back a little bit from these levels. But we could very easily keep bouncing. That's the thing, it's impossible to know what will happen. INO is intriguing. Big volume, it looks good. This thing could go. I just don't have any confidence in it. SC had earnings. I sold it right at the lows. I sold it right at the 50-day. Big mistake, whatever. SDN is starting to move. Should I take a position? It's super thin. I mean, this is it's just taking out a long range. I have to risk like 20k on it. You know, I know I said, you know, I will avoid individual positions, but this thing is one of the strongest stocks in the market, and it is up on earnings. I bought some SDNE here. It just looks really good. It's finally coming out of long range. It's been building higher lows for over a year. I'm trying to buy 10,000 shares, but it's so far hard to get fills. It's super thin. Okay, Tesla is testing VWAP. If it takes out highs of the day, I will cover most. We'll see. Codex is above VWAP, but it's been building lower highs on the 1 minute chart. If it, you know, starts taking out 1430 and stays below, that would be a good sign. See, a Tesla got so far rejected. I added a little bit, gonna use this high as my stop. Hi there, chat 86, sorry. Yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, Codex is really testing this VWAP now. I wouldn't be surprised if Codex goes to like 11 or maybe even $10 today. I would not be surprised, because it does have some air pocket once it takes out the lows of the day. And I want to be there with size if that happens. VSLR looks strong. These solar names are really super strong, all of them. SCDG, ENPH, strongest sector overall. All right, I have my 10,000 shares of SDN now. Let's see what happens here. It really shouldn't pull back. Let's just say 43. If it's gonna go, it should not pull back to 43. It shouldn't. It just shouldn't. Volume is not super, but it looks good. It's been building higher lows for over a year, and it's right about to hit all-time highs. And Brazil overall has been weak the past 3 months, but this SDNE has just been going sideways / up. So I think it really wants to go. Oh, let's see. Okay, Codex looks like it's below VWAP now. All right, good. Yeah, I did add some, but I'm still only in only like 2/3 of my size or something like that. I'm just gonna locate another 10,000 shares. VSLR, I'm taking it off my list. NIO looks really explosive. It's just rising. It's just surfing on the rising 50-day. I think this thing is gonna go up 50, maybe even 100% once it breaks out of this tight pattern. I really do. It looks so explosive. This NIO, it just looks incredibly explosive in this pattern. Like this thing tripled, it quadrupled, pulled back, and it's just holding these higher lows. The LK2, these are my two favorite setups right now, both Chinese stocks. APT just bounced off its rising VWAP. How often do I anticipate opening range lows? You know, now and then. I anticipate both opening range lows and opening range highs. Now and then. I can't really give you a specific number. I have no idea. Maybe 30% of the time? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. Are you still waiting for long entry on? Yes. They haven't triggered. They haven't triggered yet. They're just inside of the ranges. And yeah, I think ideally, like, what I would like to see if the market. Look, I don't really know. I don't care. Like, if they trigger, they trigger. Again, you know, you have to use the Chinese market for them. For these stocks, not the US market. So I don't know. If they trigger, they trigger. I'm gonna buy them both. They're just so good. They're just like 5-star setups. Like, I can't pass on them. Just like SDNE. Like, I was talking about not doing any individual stock positions, but then I still did SDNE. Just because it's showing such relative strength compared to everything else. It just looks so good. It's pretty much a 5-star setup. It really is. I just wish there was more volume. That's the only thing I don't like about it. But other than that, you know, Looks great. GMPX is flagging nicely. NIO earnings next week. Yeah, I think LK has earnings next week also. No, wait, NIO. It says 3rd of March here. But yeah, I think it's probably next week. I have to check some other sources. I hate these stocks where every site shows different number. Here, let's see. Earnings, 12th of March. Yep, that's next week, right? Yeah, on Thursday. You're right. Where does this they don't have any data. Yeah, it's probably 12th of March. LK, they haven't confirmed yet either. The China companies are really bad at confirming their earnings dates. March 11 it says. Mido. Yeah, well, Mido going, yeah, it broke out like 5 minutes ago from the opening range highs, and now it's halted. Damn, I can't believe I sold SC right on the rising 50-day. I can't. And Baba I sold right on the rising 150 or 100-day. I sold a bunch of my positions near the lows, but I'm not complaining. I had too good of a week last week to complain. I can't complain about anything. That's how good my week was. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Oh, Tesla! Oh, okay. I'm covering some here. Jesus Christ. Sweet. So I had an ad pre-market, 2 ads out of the gate. One ad opening range lows and one ad on the VWAP fail. Yeah, and look, if I'm right, Tesla goes red today. Actually, I'm gonna remove this stop here. Now opening or highs of the day is my final stop. If it goes back higher, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes red today and maybe even goes sub 700 later this week. I would not be surprised at all. I built the really decent. My only regret is I should have covered everything on Friday. I mean, I would have saved myself 150k, but that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So far this codex is building lower highs, like all through after hours and pre-market has been like lower highs, but obviously that can change at any moment, but so far it's holding these lower highs. Yeah, exactly. NIO and LK are a break or flags. You have a clean range at like 40, like I don't know, mid-high 40s on LK, and NIO the trigger area is like 420, 430 area, and they're both building higher lows. And the China stocks, and they didn't go down during all the China shutdown and everything, all the things that happened in China. So that shows they want to go higher. Yeah. Okay, I see a lot of stocks that were holding through the pullback are having some decent down days today. Like Square was holding up really well through last week's correction, and now it's about to break down out of below this flag. That's not a great sign. I'm also looking at this not DT. D-Dog. This thing held up really well, but it's just, it looks like it's gonna, it wants to break down below this range. So that's some interesting. Just some observations. You know, you really gotta notice these small nuances in stocks compared to the markets. That's a big edge if you can read the tape and spot relative strength and relative weakness. Yeah, EXSM also, yeah, really nice bounce. It's holding up really well. Yeah, it looks good. Problem is they have data this month, I think. Pretty sure. So I don't know. Could make a big move either way. But yeah, considering this thing is up 4,000% in 14 months, I would say it's holding up really well. Yeah. I think it's holding up pretty well. Tesla. Where did I cover? 72. Where are we now? 7. Oh, okay, I covered lower. Okay, never mind then. Codex looks a bit vulnerable. Now it's below VWAP. This work is looking nice. It's building an IPO base here, and looks like it found support on the rising 20-day. I think when the market has settled, this thing could be, you know, overall all these remote working stocks like Team looks also really good. Zoom and Work, they're just in the same theme, like with this coronavirus bullshit. You know, people working more from home, etc., etc., and many companies, you know, maybe moving up more of their business into these services. So that's like one theme that I'm keeping track of. These things could really go. Team is probably the least exciting one of these. It's a very choppy name. It generally hasn't had any clean trends. This is more of a buy and pullback kind of stock, you know, buy on support, not a breakout type. So this one I'm not as excited about. Zoom I'm obviously already long from like a month ago, or less than that, 3 weeks ago. But there's no buy setup here. But Work is really something I'm looking at. Whoa! What the fuck is... Oh, Twix? What's going... Oh, okay. What's going on here? Yeah. Oh, okay. We got a Fed cut. 50 basis points. Okay. I see. Okay, Tesla I just got sized down a little bit here. I had a stop set in for that intraday high. Or not that... whatever, VWAP high or whatever it is. Okay, my Twix is doing well, and TQQ is doing well. But Tesla is now very strong, but we'll see. It did get rejected of VWAP again. So, yeah, we'll see. Maybe we get another ad spot later. Yeah, that was some candle here. Question is if it's sustainable. Yeah, my Twix. Damn, I missed this breakdown level. Stupid. Come on. Why did? Oh. Oh well. I'll cover some. I'll cover some Twix. I'll cover like 500 shares out of 5,000, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so that changes some of my thesis here. But Tesla, if it starts taking out this, VWAP and starts peaking at VWAP later, I may add back what I covered. Where is VWAP? What level? Like 789. Yeah, let's see if the market can hold here. Like, if it can't hold here, that would obviously be a very bad sign. If it starts fading from these news. Codex, I just sized down a bit. Codex find a bid also on these news. So some of my positions are doing really well and some others are not doing as well. Oh my god, Twix. Oof. Oh, now I have a lot of alerts going off. It's just bad timing, to be honest. It would have been better if they had done this on Friday. Now the markets are a little bit overstretched, short term. But, it is what it is. Oh, man, a lot of these things are triggering. I do not like this. SDNE, good for SDME, Zoom, TQQ. I should probably sell some more TQQ. I'm just lightening down on some of these things that I'm having some nice profits on. I mean, TQQ is up like almost 30% from, 30% from Friday's entry. So, I've sold it like 15% of my position. Tesla, yeah. Again, if it falls back below VWAP and can't get over it, I'll add back what I shorted. It's fine. I mean, look, as long as Tesla doesn't take out highs of the day, my thesis is intact. I think it could be red today, later, maybe. We'll see. It's not like it's super strong or anything. I don't think it is. Like, it's already full. Now it's retesting VWAP. We'll see. EHPI is failing its bounce. APT is it's holding above VWAP, building lower highs and higher lows. So we'll see where the next move is gonna be. Wow, Tesla, dude, this Tesla is not Tesla is not strong at all. Tesla is not strong at all. Nope. Okay, now it's testing VWAP again. Let's see how it will act here. I did add back some of what I covered, but I'll add more. I'll add more later if it holds below VWAP. Yeah, Codex is so far doing exactly what SPC did. Exactly. Let's do a scan and then I'm gonna go through some questions. EVBG is super strong. Very thin though. GSX incredibly strength in this thing. What is this scone doing? Holy shit. And VTIQ. XLRN is at new highs. I would say software, solar, and biotech is the three strongest sectors right now, with the solar being the strongest, and then software, and then biotech. Jesus Christ, how many stocks do I have in this scan? It's incredible. It's never ending. My God. This scan too. There's a lot of names in my scans today. Wow, TAL is at 52 week highs. This thing looks great. My biggest mistake from last earnings season. Every time I look at it, it hurts. Every single time I look at it, it hurts. My God, I haven't had this many stocks in my scans for, I don't know, probably not this year. ETFs too, so there's so many of them. Okay, did I catch all of them? Holy shit, that was many. Again, that was just abnormal amounts of stocks in my scan. I usually have like maybe a quarter that amount. Codex is still hitting highs intraday. And Tesla is solidly below VWAP. Damn, I should have added more. I added back 90% of what I covered on the spike here above VWAP, but yeah, maybe if we get a breakdown below 7, okay, it just broke down, but maybe if we get a range break to the downside later, after a series of higher lows, that would be something. APT just went green briefly. STN is fading back, unfortunately. I'm raising my stop on STN. It really shouldn't come back a lot if it's gonna go. Whew. Okay, so questions here. What is NIO and LK trigger? Yeah, I already went through that. Would love a video explaining why LK and I. Well, I've been talking about this for a long time. Look, it's not rocket science. They're just flagging, okay? They're flagging and they're showing relative strength. These are two of the strongest stocks in the markets right now. Oh, my cat is doing something to my keyboard. Okay, no settings were changed. Okay, so LK, okay, had a big IPO base, then it ran on earnings, pulled back to support, went back into range, and it's just been building higher lows for the past 3 months, and now it has a range here. And the markets have thrown everything they had against this stock. In China, all the coronavirus stock, the business, what is it, like, they closed like a lot of businesses, and this thing is just not moving. Like the China markets went down, the US markets went down, and it's just holding inside of this range. What does that tell you? When the markets, next time the markets, like if we, they breathe a little bit and they start going higher, where do you think this thing will go if it breaks higher? I think it's gonna go a lot higher, right? If they can't bring it down with all the bad news, where is it gonna go? Probably higher. Same thing NIO. It's a big mover from the lows. It's one of the biggest momentum stocks in the market, right? Had a lot of bad news. Like there's been a lot of speculation about bankruptcy and stuff, but then they got some financing and now it's just flagging. Again, it couldn't go down with all the shit that's been happening in the market. So they've thrown everything at it. It can't go down. Where do you guys think it will go next time it breaks out? It's relative strength and momentum. That's it. And it's getting super tight. Look at how tight it is. Looks great on the weekly chart. Getting really tight, It's a five-star flag. You have a stock with high momentum, showing big relative strength, and during a bad market period, and it's just getting tighter and tighter, building higher lows. This thing has been building higher lows for 4 months. LK has been building higher lows except for this Muddy Waters hit piece that hit it on this day here, where it briefly undercut this higher lows, but it's been also for like 3-4 months been building higher lows. What does that tell you? That tells you that buyers are coming in at higher levels every time the stock dips, which means there's accumulation beneath. That's what I see on these things. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean there's 100% chance they're gonna go higher. No, absolutely not. It only means you will have a very good risk-reward spot with a decent probability that these things will go up. But yeah, I mean, both of these report next week, and both of them could be down 50% on earnings. Who knows? Let's see here. D-Dog. If we get another push to VWAP on Tesla, yeah, no problem. I mean, things that are very obvious to me may obviously not be as obvious to you. I mean, to me these things are like really obvious, and sometimes I really don't understand that they may not be obvious to everyone. So yeah, just ask away if you don't understand something. That's fine. I'm happy to explain. I just get carried away a lot of times. Come on, Tesla, one more bounce to VWAP, please. TQQ got rejected at this white line. Twix is back in range. Twix, I'm potentially willing to trade it later in the day if it re-breaks this 9650 area. But not until maybe in a couple of hours, maybe mid-late day. Oh, OMI, looks like I may got... no, I'll keep this. Lows of the day will be my stop. It found support on this rising white line. If it breaks that, I'm out. Looks weak so far. Nah, I'll probably sell it. It's acting like shit. So OMI is acting like shit. I'll just sell it. Fuck this stock. Thin name, hard to get out of it. Fuck this stock. Okay. Codex is building higher lows intraday. I think just as with space, it is building a range. It may need a few more days. Wait, was it down more than 10%? Oh man, it's gonna have SSR on tomorrow too, because it was down more than 10% today. Maybe on Thursday. On Thursday, hopefully SSR will not be on. Maybe that's when it will fail. But it's the big range for this thing is in the low 14s here, like 1420 or so. That's the big level for Codex. 1430. What are my overall trading returns? My annual trading returns have been everything between like 80% and like 400%. 80 to 400%. I think I've been averaging about 200% or so. Or maybe like 150% after taxes. Margin for overnight? Only if I have longs and shorts at the same time. But never in the same direction. I may, for example, I may be 110% long and maybe like, or say 90% long and 30% short. So that I'll be like 120% overall. So I'll be using a little bit margin. Right now I'm not using any margin. But last week when I was, I was short Tesla, I was short, what was it? I was long like Codex and APT. And then I had, a bunch of stuff like BABA and SC, and I still have like Zoom and DXCM. Like, then I was using some margin because I had a bunch of long positions and I had a bunch of short positions. Yeah, Tesla is okay. I probably need to cover this Codex bullshit. It's not going lower. For now, at least. Yeah, it's doing exactly what the SBC did. Exactly the same thing. It needs a few. And once it breaks that low 14 area, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing is down 30-40% in a few days. But right now, gotta be patient. Yeah, okay, Tesla is back at VWAP. Let's see here. You know what? I'm not gonna add here. I won't. I have decent size. I'm short 3,500 shares. I'd rather wait for some kind of a break to the downside later on in the day. I think that's a better deal. I'm not gonna add here. I'm happy with my 3,500 shares. For now. Again, if it takes out some range to the downside later, I'll add more. But right now, I'm happy with what I have. I'm happy with my entries and everything. Average price, I don't know. I had I've been short Tesla for like a couple of weeks now. I started shorting it, in the 900s and added through 800s. So I had 1,000 shares from my shorts last week, and then I traded a few thousand shares today also. So I have no idea what my average is. I have no idea. But I shorted a bunch, like 790s pre-market, and then I shorted more 790s opening range lows. Then I shorted like more 780s when it failed VWAP the first time. Then I covered some into weakness. Then I got stopped out of those shares, and then I added back in the 780s, and I don't know. The average I have is very random right now. It is not reflecting the truth. Yeah, it is back. Let's see how it acts here. It's not acting super well, but the range is at 44-ish. So I wouldn't be worried unless it goes into the 40, below 44. I should probably raise my stop a little bit more. Oh, Tesla failed VWAP again. So far, yeah, I'm getting tired. I've been up for 12.5 hours. I woke up at 4 a.m. and I'm just really tired today. I'm not gonna be super aggressive on anything. That's why I passed on the additional Tesla short. But look, I mean, in case this thing fades back to sub 700, there's a lot of money to be made there. And I think there will be, if it's gonna go lower, there will be one more opportunity to short it. Now it's building range, if you can see it, 775. There is a range here that is building, and it's building lower highs. So if it can break below that range later in the day, that could be an add spot for more shares. But right now, I think it just needs more time. What are the markets doing? So far, they popped, pulled back, and now they're digesting this. We are, this is the third day of the bounce. We'll see. We could see. We could go higher. We could go lower. It's just we're in no man's land right now in the markets. We are in no man's land. What is this VTI here? Is it a buyout? No, it's not. Some kind of a pump. Oh, okay. Is this some kind of electric vehicle? Okay. Explains why it's so really? Oh, fuck this shit. So it's some kind of what is it called? Reverse merger? Alright, something to keep an eye on. Damn, I missed opening range highs. Oh. My cat is messing with my keyboard. Ska vi se. Yeah, the 775 range for later could be interesting. This SC looks good. Oh man, I can't believe I sold it right at support. Oh my god, what an amateur move. Can't believe this. Yeah, Twix obviously this 9650 area for later in the day. If we don't pull back from these levels, this Twix will unwind into sub 80. over the next few days, as long as we don't go lower in the markets, obviously. Okay, STN, it looks like it's bouncing here, reclaiming VWAP, trying to reclaim VWAP. Tesla is holding the 775 area. It could very easily retest the VWAP and maybe even overshoot the VWAP. But 775 is a key area for later, potentially. What's HTBX do? Oh, okay, it's going lower. Why was this thing up yesterday even? Was there some Corona related news on it? I didn't find any news on it. Alright, I'll cut the stream now, and I hope you have a great trading day. And I'll see you tomorrow.